Welcome back to another tutorial. This is kind of a part two on an older tutorial I did, a very old tutorial I did on no script sorting of trees. So that tutorial more or less was very useful as long as whatever you have as an object kind of has, like it can kind of fit into a square base. So for instance, this here is taller, but you look at the base and we can see it's a square base. I'm going to expand a little bit on some extra settings. So in my original tutorial, it was go into your project settings, go to graphics, and you had to make a change there. Things have changed a little bit because I'm using URP for this, and it's not going to be in the same place. I'm going to go into here where I'm going to grab my universal render pipeline asset. That's here. And I'm going to look under the render 2D, which is right next to it. And that's where we find this area that was in the original tutorial. So make sure you have your axis set to custom axis and set the sort axis. Normally the Z is at 1 and you change the Z to 0 and Y to 1. Okay, so let's take a look at this graphic. And the way we want to do it is normally you would just take your pivot point, and I'm just trying to find the corner where you would walk behind the object, and I'm going to center the X. It's the Y that's the important one. Apply that, and make sure that the object, your sprite sort point, is set to the pivot point. And now my character can walk in front and walk behind without having to use any scripts to sort it. That's easy. That's all part of the first tutorial. Let's look at something a little harder here. So we've got an object that is not on a square base. And you can see where I've marked out that where the character can walk. So here the character, we can see if I go in front here, everything's fine, everything's in fine. I go behind, everything's fine. But once I get to around here, it's no longer working. And it doesn't matter where you put the pivot point, it's just not going to work. Usually the way I get around that, so this looks exactly the same. My character can walk around. And when it gets to that point, my character is still fine. And the only way I can get this done is because I've split this bench into 3 parts. So I can sort with, you can see where the pivot is there. And if you travel the pivot across, this will be this point here. So if I move my character up to about here, you can see the character's pivot point. As soon as I start getting a little too low, he starts to clip through. So I know where I'm fine on this bench. On this one here, I've got again the pivot point down in the corner there. And I know that following that corner across, and I go up, as long as I'm in this area here, I'm fine. So I'm splitting you have to split the piece into multiple parts, bring them all back together. I've got it just stuck here as one object, which I can make a prefab of it, especially something like this, which is a bench. I might want to use the bench multiple times. So you would make a prefab of the bench and just reuse it over and over again. It's not a perfect way of getting it done, but it kind of works. So splitting this into 3 pieces is the only way I've been able to find to get this to work without any scripting at all. Thank you for your time, and see you in the next tutorial.